Hi there, this is Blue Moon 3 in the Milner Gambit of the French, and it's called Blue Moon because Blue Moon is the signature tune of Manchester City Football Club, and Gareth Barry and James Milner both played for Manchester City. They've got the same name as Milner Barry, so we call it the Blue Moon series of traps. So this is number 3 in the series, and after e4, e6 the French, White plays the advanced variation e5, c5, c3. We've seen this many times before. Black can play knight c6 or queen b6 or change the order. After queen b6, knight f3 and knight c6. Bishop d3, c takes d4, c takes d4, and we know that black cannot capture the pawn on d4 because that loses, so bishop d7 threatens the capture on d4. And here white allows the capture on d4 in the Milner-Barry gambit. After takes, queen takes. Black's a pawn up, but white has development and offensive chances. Knight c3, and after black grabs the second pawn, rook e1 with time on the queen, and the queen has to retreat. Here the queen retreats to d6, and white will continue knight b5. We've seen this in a previous trap, and in the previous trap black tried bishop takes b5. Here the queen is going back to b8. It's a different variation. White continues with queen f3, which is logical because it's securing this f4 square for the bishop, which intends to come to bishop f4 and hit the queen. Also, it's hitting the pawn on d5, which is fair game because the pawn on e6 is pinned. Here black tries some offensive lines of himself. Bishop d7, hitting h2. After queen takes on d5, and as I said, the pawn on e6 is pinned, so it's not going to be recapturing. Black tries bishop takes h2 check. King moves out the way to h1, and a6 now, hitting that pesky knight instead of retreating the bishop. So what does white do? Instead of moving the knight, white moves operations somewhere else. Now that queen is hitting g7, and it's protecting the pawn advance g2 to g3, which will make the bishop on h2 vulnerable, unprotected by the queen. g6 is played. It's not the only move for black, but it is natural. And now white plays g3, threatening the bishop on h2. Black really has 3 options available. He can either give up the bishop on h2, he can take the knight on b5, or he can try to somehow extricate the bishop on h2. That's the worst choice, and that's the choice in this variation that black makes. After h6, which is logical but not good, queen moves back to c5, and after bishop takes on g3, sacrificing, f takes on g3, queen takes on g3, and black is running into serious trouble because now the knight on b5 is going to run havoc. After knight d6 check, this is what we call a windmill theme. The king moves to d8. Now the knight takes on f7 check, king goes back, knight goes back, check again, king again back to d8, knight takes b7, king to e8, knight d6 check again, king d8. The king is stranded in the center, and in this position white goes for rook e3. Black really has nothing, and although white has no immediate mate and is barely a piece up, white is scoring well over +10, and black here can resign. So this has been the Blue Moon 3 trap in the Milner-Barry gambit of the French defense advanced variation. Hope you found it informative, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.